Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Crystal Beast deck profile. So this deck is a really fun deck that basically summons Rainbow Dragon and Rainbow Over Dragon all the time and OTKs your opponent with them and all your other Crystal Beast monsters. And I really recommend that you guys give this deck a shot because they're actually going to be reprinting, hopefully, the really expensive Crystal Bond in this deck really soon with the Legendary Duelists Volume 1, I believe, that's going to be reprinting a lot of the cards from the Legendary Duelist set. So without further ado guys, let's get straight on this. Before we do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on this so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description because we have some really cool rewards for you guys, like getting your deck profile of choice every single month that you're a patron, or getting a signed card, or getting even your name in the description of every single DarkArmedDuelist video. So let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Rainbow Dragon. So Rainbow Dragon is a really cool card that you have to have all 7 of your Crystal Beast monsters with different names on your field or in your graveyard, and then you can special summon this card, which is really, really cool. And then you can either send all Crystal Beast monsters you control to the graveyard, and it gains 100 attack for each card sent to the graveyard to activate this effect, or you can remove this card from play, and all Crystal Beast monster cards in your graveyard return to return all cards on the field to their owner's decks, which is really cool because it's kind of like a reset button, but it's really cool to be able to just summon this card and attack for 4,000, which is mainly what you do with this card. Then we play 3 copies of Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus. Sapphire Pegasus is the best normal summon you have in the entire deck, because when it's normal summoned, you get to put a Crystal Beast monster in your back row, and all Crystal Beasts share the ability that when they're destroyed by battle or by card effect, you put them in your back row as spell cards, which is really a kind of neat gimmick to be able to put them back because they revert to their gem form as seen in the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX TV show, which is kind of cool. And if you guys haven't seen that, you definitely should. Then we play 2 copies of Topaz Tiger. When it battles, you can it gains 400 attack, which is a really cool effect about this card. And it also has that ability that it puts itself in the back row, which is a really neat effect. 1 copy of Amber Mammoth, you kind of just play this card for the name. Some of these Crystal Beast cards you just play for the name, so you can get the Rainbow Dragon out on the field and Rainbow Over Dragon, which is really actually easy to pull off. But Crystal Beast Amber Mammoth has the ability that when another face-up Crystal Beast monster you control is targeted for attack, you make this card the attack target instead. 2 copies of Cobalt Eagle. The Cobalt Eagles are just basically here because they're good level 4 monsters. And then you can target a Crystal Beast monster you control and return that target to the top of your deck, which is really cool to be able to bounce like a copy of your Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus. Or if you stack multiple copies of your Crystal Beast in your back row, you bounce them back so you can make room for other Crystal Beast monsters that you might need to put in the back row so you can summon your Rainbow Dragon. 1 copy of Amethyst Cap, just kind of for the name. It can half its attack points and then swing at your opponent directly, or swing at your opponent directly and then inflicts half damage. Inflicts half damage, not half its attack points. 1 copy of Emerald Tortoise. Emerald Tortoise is really good because what it does is you can target 1 monster you control, and that and then once per turn, you can target 1 monster you control that attacked this turn and change its defense position, which is kind of neat. And then we play the other really good Crystal Beast, which is Ruby Carbuncle. Ruby Carbuncle, if it's special summoned, then you can special summon as many Crystal Beasts as possible from your spell and trap card zone, and it really helps you to swarm the entire field with this card. It's a really good card. And then we play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. The 3 Ash Blossoms come in super handy because basically what you do with them is you discard them as hand traps to just be able to stop your opponent from doing all sorts of shenanigans, which really comes in handy. But you really need to play 1 of each Crystal Beast if you're going to go for this kind of build, so you can go directly in for your copy, or your copy of, what's its name? The Rainbow Dragon and Rainbow Over Dragon, because that's the big focus of the entire deck, is to be able to go in for Rainbow Dragon and Rainbow Over Dragon to be able to OTK your opponent for a 4,000 beat stick, which is pretty much what you do over and over again, and you can actually summon them both at the same time. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Call by the Grave just to stop your opponent from stopping you from doing all sorts of stuff like your copy of Sapphire Pegasus or stuff like that. And you really want to get your copy of Ultimate Crystal Magic out as quickly as possible. 1 copy of Double or Nothing because it's super easy to get out Double or Nothing in this deck and be able to special summon a Utopia Double because we play a lot of level 4s in this deck. You actually play a grand total of 8 level 4s in the deck, so it's really easy to be able to make Utopia Double and get 2 monsters on the field quickly to be able to OTK your opponent that way instead of going for the Rainbow Dragon. 1 copy of Crystal Release. Basically, Crystal Release lets your monster gain 800 attack points, and when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can place 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck face up in your spell and trap card zone. 1 copy of Crystal Beacon. Crystal Beacon lets you target 2 Crystal Beast monsters in the graveyard and put those targets in the continuous spell and trap card zone, which basically gets them back on your side of the field. Crystal Abundance is a good OTK card that lets you send 4 Crystal Beast cards from your spell and trap card zone to the graveyard and then destroy all special summon, send all cards on the field to the graveyard. And then you can special summon as many Crystal Beast monsters as possible from the graveyard up to the number of cards your opponent controlled that were destroyed, which can really help you OTK your opponent. 1 copy of Rare Value. As you guys are noticing, I have totally max rarity, not max rarity, but hollowed out the entire deck. Like, everything is hollow in this deck because I really wanted this deck to be like that because it's just such a gorgeous deck. But basically, this card that if you have 2 or more Crystal Beast monster cards in your spell and trap card zone, your opponent selects 1 of them and then sends it to the graveyard, and then you draw 2, which is really cool. 3 copies of Crystal Beacon. The Crystal Beacon is super good in this deck. Basically, what this card does is when you activate it, you can special summon 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck, but you must have 2 Crystal Beast monsters in your back row in order to activate this card. We play 3 copies of Crystal Promise, which lets us special summon a Crystal Beast monster from our back row, which is really cool. 3 copies of Crystal Bond, which is the best spell card in the entire deck that lets you add a Crystal Beast monster from your deck to your hand, and then place a Crystal Beast monster with a different name from the one that you added in your back row, which really helps out to be able to get like Ruby Carbuncle on the back row and then activate Promise to be able to special summon it, and special summon all the ones that you have in the back row and then OTK your opponent by going to like Boral Sword or something like that. Then we play 3 copies of Rainbow Bridge. Rainbow Bridge is really good because it lets you add a crystal, spell, or trap from your deck to your hand. So it lets you add literally any one of them except for your copy of Rare Value, which is really, really, really good, and I really like that ability. You can actually add like Crystal Beacon and then special summon 1 from deck, or add Crystal Bond and then add 1 from deck and put 1 in back row. Like, this card has infinite possibilities for what you might get, and I really like that they actually thought about this card instead of like Toon Table of Contents, where it's called Rainbow Bridge instead of Toon Table of Contents or Crystal Bridge, because if they would have named it Crystal Bridge, you could add Crystal Bridge over and over again and then mill the deck down, and people would abuse this card in ways that it shouldn't have been, which I'm really glad that they actually worked this card out and thought about the name. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps, which we do actually play 3 traps in the deck, and that is 3 copies of our Ultimate Crystal Magic. So the Ultimate Crystal Magic is basically like the card that you want to get into as quickly as possible, which we essentially play 6 targets of it because we play the Rainbow Bridge. This card's a card that you always want to open up because it has the ability that when your Crystal Beast monster is destroyed by battle, you can send 7 Crystal Beast cards with different names from your hand, deck, or face up in your field to the graveyard to special summon 1 Ultimate Crystal Fusion monster from your extra deck, which is always going to be your Rainbow Overdragon. And this card it's always treated as a fusion summon, and if a face-up Ultimate Crystal monster you control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard to place any number of Crystal Beast monsters from your graveyard in your spell and trap card zone as continuous spells and traps, which is really cool to be able to just kind of put them all in your back row to be able to go into your other cards as quickly as possible. So basically, this card is your 3 of that you have to play at 3. It is so important to play this card at 3, and you have to play it at 3 if you're going to go for the Rainbow Overdragon. So that's it for the entire main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Rainbow Overdragon. 2 copies of Rainbow Overdragon is the perfect ratio for them. You only are ever going to go to this card maybe twice. It's always treated as an Ultimate Crystal monster, just like Rainbow Dragon, and it must be fusion summoned or special summoned by tributing 1 level 10 Ultimate Crystal monster, in which case you do not use Polymerization, which can be either a Rainbow Dragon or a Rainbow Dark Dragon, which we don't play Rainbow Dark Dragon in the deck because we don't play Advanced Dark. And then once per turn, you can banish a Crystal Beast monster from your graveyard, and this card gains attack equal to the banished monster until the end phase of the turn. And then quick effect, you can tribute this card to shuffle all cards on the field into the deck, which is really cool. It's basically like an upgraded version of your Rainbow Dragon to be able to get kind of the same effects, but in a fusion monster, which is kind of neat and really easy, a lot easier to go into, which is super, super cool for this deck. Then we play a single copy of Boral Sword Dragon. Boral Sword Dragon is kind of just helps us for the OTK and to be able to go into all the different monsters that we're going to be going into to just, you know, like when you use Ruby Carbuncle and put it on the field, you can just link into this card super easy when you special summon the Ruby Carbuncle and like 3 other Crystal Beasts. Like Crystal Abundance into this is just like an instant win. Then we play a single copy of Nightmare Unicorn. The Nightmare Unicorn helps us bounce stuff, which is really, really helpful. One copy of the Nightmare Phoenix to be able to pop spells and traps. And a single copy of Union Carrier, because Union Carrier is neat. You can actually put in the Dragon Buster, the tuner monster that is Buster Blader, that makes it so your opponent can special summon the extra deck. I didn't put it in here because I just didn't really want to. What I really use this card for is to equip a Crystal Beast monster to a monster that doesn't have, you know, like one that I'm looking for. It helps me search out my deck and put it onto a monster and let it gain 1,000 attack, which is kind of neat. I don't make this card often, but it's there. Then I play a single copy of Ravenous Tarantula because all of your Ultimate Crystal monsters are above, or they're level 10, and this card can really make your other monsters gain a lot of attack and make a big difference in the gap. Then we play a single copy of the Gustav Max and the copy of Juggernaut Libby, because you do play rank 10s in this deck, so you can OTK your opponent with these that are really, really helpful. Utopia, because Utopia helps us OTK a little bit, and it's a really good card to be able to go into Utopia double into Utopia, which helps us OTK. Really, really easy because you just make them basically in tandem with one another, add Utopia double to the hand, or add double or nothing to the hand, swing at your opponent for 10,000, and you just win. Baguska, because it helps us stall out till we get our ultimate crystal magic. Evilsworn Exciton, because sometimes you do need to blow for board. One copy of Abyss Dweller, because Abyss Dweller does help us with stopping our opponent from doing stuff from graveyard. And then a single copy of number 60, because number 60 is really good because it can let you draw 2 or discard 1, or it doubles the attack points of one of your monsters, which doubling your Rainbow Overdragon all the way up to 8,000 is really cool to be able to just swing at your opponent for 8,000 and win the game like that, which can happen a lot, especially if you go Crystal Abundance and have just a Rainbow Dragon on the field. You can really go after your opponent. So that's it for the deck, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think of this deck down in the comments down below. Like I said, I did hollow this deck out because this deck is crazy cool and crazy fun, and it's really nostalgic to me. I really love Crystal Beast, and it's a really fun deck. Like, it's just a super cool, fun deck to play around with, and I really think that you guys should give this deck a shot. It can be really budget. I think it's going to end up being a more budget option. It's not right now at all, because the Crystal Bonds are like $45 each. But I think once it gets the reprint in the Volume 1 of the Legendary Duelists, where they have the first 2 reprinted, I think it's going to get a little bit cheaper, and you guys are going to really enjoy this deck. But for now, play it on Yugioh Pro, make proxies of it. I have a video of how to make proxies for the Crystal Bonds. But if you already have Crystal Bonds, that's great for you, and definitely make the deck. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.